Alright guys, today we're taking a look at the TRF Fightstick all the way from Istanbul. Unfortunately, this is not a default color. I actually vinyled this one myself. The original color was white. It's glossy white. How I even found out about TR Fightstick is that after I came back from EVO 2018, you realize your Mad Catz TE is pretty much like the Civic of all fight sticks. It is everywhere, but everybody does theirs just a little bit differently. It's actually a lot different on the inside than any other stick that I've personally messed with. The whole body is made out of metal. The whole body. The buttons and stuff are knockoffs. I think the buttons are more of a, they feel more like a knockoff of Seimitsu rather than a Sanwa. They actually have like an actual point of actuation, so you actually press down on it and you give it that last It comes with this quick disconnect USB as well. This Chinese knockoff Sanwa, I'm pretty sure, from what I can tell from the stick, it's a lot more softer. You got a lot more free play. Don't want to dabble into it because it all becomes personal preference at the end of the day. The cheap copycat buttons also comes the cheap PCB. Now, from what I understand, I'm the only person that had this problem. Only some games recognize it. Marvel vs. Capcom recognizes it. Street Fighter recognizes it. But Tekken and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle and Dragon Ball Z does not recognize this in particular PCB. We went through the device settings. My computer recognizes it and stuff. I think it's more of a problem with Steam, so that's just something to keep in mind. If you do have problems with, say, the said fight stick, they're gonna be like right there able to help you. So that I do really appreciate something like that. Goes a long way, especially if you're trying to struggle with something and, you know, spend some good amount of money on something you want to enjoy. The buttons and stuff are really there just to fill the enclosure. It's not really there to stay for the long term, at least in my eyes, especially if you got something like this and makes things that much easier. Not something I would really worry too much about. You're pretty much paying for the enclosure, something you could build upon in the future. Right now I have it fitted with the Sanwa metallic buttons and the Sanwa JLF, but it is actually the Paradise Arcade Magenta. But I had put the switches back in because it's a little difficult to get used to a joystick that has no switches in it. How this can fit a Seimitsu joystick, a Korean joystick, unless it's the one that has the rounded tops and that you have to cut through, then obviously you have to cut through, but it will fit. Plenty of room inside for activities, all right? Plenty of room. By the way, it does have a plexiglass front cover on it as well. You know, get some artwork, cut it out to size, put it on, and ready to... Ugh, why? Why now? Why? And you're ready to rock and roll. I was already planning on using a Brooks fighting board anyway, and since I already had it in my other stick to begin with, so I wasn't really too worried about it. So I ended up just swapping it out, putting the Brooks board in. Worked flawlessly. So if you were to open the TR Fightstick, there's just 4 screws at the bottom. And what this fight stick does differently compared to any other is that they made a PCB just for the buttons, and they actually have a port where you can slide a Brooks board into there, just like a Lego piece. It's held in by 4 screws, so when you do remove the buttons, you do have to remove the PCB as well. What makes this super easy for first timers makes button swapping so much easier because there's a pigtail that you can either remove with the button, or you can keep in the PCB, put your new button in, and then just connect the connectors back in. Auto combo easy. So you can do it. Makes things super seamless. So, you know, there's people out there who just touch wires and they think they're gonna get Blanca electrocuted or somehow get like that Sagat scar across the chest. So it makes things easier and more welcoming for first time modders and stuff. And before I forget, it also connects the joystick with the PCB as well. So you just have the PCB that connects to everything essentially. Now playing on this fight stick for long sessions isn't going to be much of a problem. Resting your wrist on the fight stick, the plexiglass doesn't dig in your hands or anything. On the bottom side, there are 4 feet, typically for tabletop playing, but when I do put it on my lap, the feet fit right in the middle of my thighs. Doesn't really move too much. I would like to see an anti-slip mat like the Rap 4 or something, but it would be more suitable for people that maybe the feet don't actually like center on. Now the size of the fight stick, it's about a TE round 1 without the side plates on, or maybe a Toki Korean stick, so it's nice and compact and it has that weight to it that'll keep it center on your lap. I do kind of wish that there was a handle since it is kind of heavy and there's no real good place to actually keep a grip on it, but though it's not needed, it'd be nice to have. Now the last part of this segment is something I really wasn't expecting until I actually had the TRF Fightstick in my hand. For whatever reason, I was dropping my combos and I really wasn't understanding why. The TR Fightstick's button layout is a lot more aggressive than the TE style or the Vuelich style that's traditionally on arcade sticks. After my high tier scrub mind was able to comprehend, I just jumped into training mode, got 30-40 minutes in, and before I know it, it was back to normal. For those of you that have the Hori Fighting Edge, this is a similar layout, and after a while, after I started playing on it, I actually prefer this layout over the more popular Vuelichs because the button layout is just a little more comfortable for me and tech in, at least. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for the TR Fightstick, guys. This is gonna be great for you first-time modders. The whole PCB design makes things very seamless if you're gonna be swapping out buttons and such. But as I mentioned before earlier in the video, the buttons and joystick that it does come with isn't really intended to stay. It's definitely just something, you know, just to fill it in. You're buying the TRF Fightstick for the enclosure and everything that it comes with. Of course, there are other enclosures on the market, but they don't come with buttons and stuff, so it can be about $100 depending on where you are, because you know, there's gonna be shipping involved as well. Got mine for I think around 120, and I live here in California. Thank you guys for sitting here and watching the video. Hopefully you got some insight here, and if you're thinking about getting one, hopefully this will, you know, make your decision a little more clear. I think I'm going to be looking into doing more fight stick reviews in the future, maybe more, a little bit more in depth. So if you guys have any suggestions of which ones I should take a look at, go ahead and leave a comment below. Maybe I'll consider it. It's just another box with buttons, and that's better than other boxes that have buttons in it. But at the end of the day, it does just matter of what buttons you put inside of your box. Woke. Until then, I am Alex Nostalgix, and I will see you guys in the next one.